Yeah, I said it. I meant it.
I said it. I'm in a 215 mobility. I got some smoke for y'all. It NASA again. So right here, y'all, I want to speak on this Joe Budden situation. As we know, in the past few weeks, Joe Budden has indicated he was leaving Spotify. And since then, the outing that he did on the podcast, of course, there are some people such as Charlemagne who felt as though that was in poor taste. But I also see a lot of things transpiring that we need to take a real good look into. You know what I mean? Now, we know Spotify is super duper big. These are large corporations. But I'm seeing things that's really kind of fishy. We got the Tahiri coming out. We have Sin saying little things in a negative light. You got Joe Budden's also saying the most weirdest shit. I don't know what he meant by this, like, spanking off the dog. Like, I did hear you say that, dude. I hope that was like a joke that's getting played out. like what the was that? So, I've been just watching how this thing just been playing out. Now, first when Joe Budden took to the air and said these things about Spotify, Charlemagne was one of the most vocal ones, which I thought they were kind of like colleagues and kind of like the biggest guys in media, like for our urban areas. So I thought these guys were kind of like, good friends to a degree. And that seems not to be the case. Charlemagne was one of the first people to say something pertaining to Joe Budden is putting his business out on the line or how he felt, which is just right. And I'm glad, we listen to his podcast, fans of it. So we kind of admire the transparency for the audience. Like, we really appreciate that. The people that actually like the show. I was wondering, like, why is Charlemagne being so vocal about Joe Budden's indicating that he has a super duper worth towards this market that he kind of spearheaded to a degree, So that was just a funny thing. Week later go by after, the Tahiri and all the other stuff. Brilliant Idiots podcast comes up. And now we got Charlemagne on here and they going in from the rip. Was Andrew Schultz and Wax. Hey, what's up, Wax? I ain't seen Wax in a minute. And Charlemagne. Now, they going in about, the masturbation of an animal, which is over the top. But I came from this, and the next day, what I see Charlemagne post, Charlemagne is going into a network deal. Now, as he said on this Brilliant Idiot podcast, that this has been something in the works. So now I understand why he came at Joe Budden's. See, Joe Budden's is saying, hey, I want a network. I want 4% for everything. I want to cash me out. Black man talking that talk. We gotta love it. See, Charlemagne got upset when Joe Budden said something on Spotify is because he just made a network deal and gave them niggas half. How you gonna say this is all for black people, but then you're giving half away, dude? Ain't like nobody else can get any part of ownership in this network because you done gave away half. So, of course, you would be kind of mad because you may be thinking that Joe Budden's saying stuff about you. But I don't think that's the case. I think you were kind of in poor taste there, Charlemagne. And you kind of, what Joe Budden was saying, I think it felt like an indirect shot to you. I don't know if he knew your business, but I can, logically, clearly, what you saying being so vocal in the beginning, and we didn't know as to why until you presented this network, the black effect that you're having. I see. So idols become rivals. I don't know if that's necessarily would apply, but I thought y'all was good money, but clearly that ain't the case. And with the kind of leverage Charlemagne have in the media space, it's like he cream of the crop. There is no way that I feel like this man couldn't have not created a network by himself and maybe come into, some ownership with him and Joe Buttons. I don't understand what would make him do that when he has the power that he has. You know what I mean? It's like you want us to be owners. You finally work yourself up to the point where you actually can be 100% owner, but you also more than likely want to sit in that table and within that house of the elite, I guess. And that's totally fine. That's totally up to you. But clearly there are two different causes, such as Joe Budden stated. The guy really wants more of a percentage of what his worth is. He is kind of the gauge in the needle of podcasting. He actually made Spotify hot, period. You know what I mean? This podcast network that you have, this space, guys pretty much wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for Joe Buttons. And we all can agree that the podcast lane he the one really made that and opened up the market for that. It would have been nice, Charlemagne, if you would have showed us as a black man in power. Of course, you probably own a lot of things at 100%. But this particular network, it would have been nice if we just had a full black-owned podcast network with black podcast, content creators. But you can't tell no man how to run their business. I'd like to know y'all stance on this. Would you rather own a network fully owned with black content creators, or would you like a higher view, getting paid 50% by an entity that you actually already work for? I know that's probably going from employer to partnership, which can be seen that way. But during the climate and what's vital for the African American community, is it a time that we should be 50% or showing that we can own all? Y'all let me know. Like and subscribe. I said it.